Hi, everybody. Now, welcome back to the start of session. Oh, sorry. Welcome back to Materia D&D, where we play D&D our way. Welcome to the start of session 146, where we just previously did a quick level up, where all my characters and have dinged over to level 14. And now we are about to get the ball rolling. So last session and previous session, technically, the Crass Menagerie, had made it to West Green, a borderline city stronghold along the border of the nation of Kled and the neutral territories of the open fields. Here, uh, they spent 10-ish days traveling by cart uh, on a joint mission and agreed as additional protection mercenaries for hire for the joint efforts of retrieving lost artifacts and relics that have been discovered amongst the numerous dig sites within the open plains. The Menagerie are lending their efforts and their strength to the joint efforts of the Heralds of Exploration, the College of Fascination, and the Alabastar Museums. Um, as they had been traveling, there was, for the most part, it was very smooth travel. First day went off. First night was crazy because rock spellcasting, and then as they approached on their final day of travel, they went ahead and pushed through in the evening, so that the day did actually tick over to Thrisson Day, as they were traveling the two Loon and Luna in the sky, shining bright. Uh, the light actually helped them see in the distance there was dark smoke and orange and red glows coming from the only city on the path, West Green. Hastening their pace, uh, the Crass Menagerie and the 30 some individuals that they are traveling with split up. Uh, Pew Lamb, 14, and Opal, along with all the other people that they traveled with, stayed at the front gate, making their way, lending assistance to people leaving, trying to find some of their colleagues potentially also leaving the cities uh, from their various factions that they represented, uh, while the Crass Menagerie took it upon themselves to enter the city and assist the militias and the city guard as West Green burns. Um, it took a little bit of time in running, especially since they didn't know the city, but they did eventually head west through the city and make conflict with a raiding party. Uh, Initially, Allegretto was well in advance because he was on the back of Loon Loon. And flying there, he saw a armored and winged entity flying through the sky, crashing down and taking care of swaths of raiders. Uh, then the menagerie as a whole caught up, and a big conflict came through. And what they saw were raiders killing many individuals, but then they were also dragging others away, trying to leave the city with hostages, captives, who knows. Uh, the menagerie uh, were able to turn the tides uh, in this little area of conflict, assisted by the angel, the celestial entity in the sky, um, a small little shadow of a creature that they are still hardly aware of that even exists, and the individual that beckoned the celestial entity to fight alongside. Uh, while they were turning the tides then again ebbed and flowed, and a champion of the fallen queen, uh, as identified by Ben, came charging in on his juggernaut of a wolf-like mount. riling up the remaining raiders to continue fighting. Uh, the Menagerie did an incredibly good job at containing this living juggernaut. Um, However, it became somewhat apparent that while the humanoid figure might be all muscles, the brains were actually reserved for his steed that he was riding in. And when the conflict was turning sour, the steed forcefully, which is a giant wolf, grabbed his champion and forced him to flee. That was not before Ben stripped him of his oversized axe, and Cielo stole his shufar horn. With all the blood and the fire raging, and the raiders dispersing, the champion fleeing, the menagerie turned their attentions to assisting the city where they could, uh, escorting people out, checking on wounded, checking on the dead, and this took many hours into the evening. But eventually, with the assistance of their new, well, with the assistance of the two individuals that helped them fight off the raiders, one, Cielo, the Harangon rogue, and two, Ben, the Gith Zerai uh, war domain cleric, uh, they were able to take some of the wounded and stranded uh, along the path heading north, outside of West Green proper, to a holy temple. A Yeah, a holy temple that reached high in the sky that had a uh, carving made of the stone, the same material that almost as I don't remember the term, the word they use. It's not a pinnacle, a precipice, or something, but it actually upon the two stairs that wrap around it, reaching up into the entrance, there is a representation of a female figure, arms out, welcoming, and in as many words as Ben could say, he welcomed the Crass Menagerie and a number of the displaced, the injured, and the survivors from the raids to the Temple of the Beacon. And that's where we pick up.
So it's
And
what time of day now?
it
Like dawn?
is dawnish. Yes, I would say it is dawn. So you guys did not rest in the terms of sleep, but because you guys were, just to keep it simple, because you guys were not doing like anything like crazy like conflict, I'm still going to allow you guys to tick over to our level 14.
Yay!
And yeah, the detector. Yeah. So as you uh, are now here amongst the temple, uh, Ben, if you want to give any descriptors, I know you gave it last time, but feel free. You can describe some details if you thought of anything.
Does anybody need a refresher on last week or the week before last? Or you guys good?
I think a refresher is always good if you have any.
Okay, sure. So looks appears to be a maybe three-story tower. Very lightly colored, a lot of stained glass windows on the outside. Two circular staircases kind of joining in the start in the middle and wrap themselves around a statue of the beacon that's in the middle right there, and goes up to the main entrance. Um, Inside is what I think will be the most impressive, especially to Sej. Uh, it may not be exactly like Sej's temples, but I'm sure there are commonalities between the two of them. The one thing you will notice is there are no shadows anywhere in this ground level. The way the windows are, the way
So this is
the
the
items are
anti-Dragnar temple.
polished, pretty much, yes. There is not a single. The only shadow that gets cast is from you, but even that is diluted because the amount of light is coming from so many different angles. So it's like I said, it's all about light, all about warmth, all about welcoming, good, and Sej, I'm assuming, will realize what this is or how it was created by using the spell Temple of the Gods.
Mm-hmm.
Out of game, 1 year of casting it every single day, it becomes permanent. And per Adam, today is the last day of me casting it. So it will become permanent after today.
So we got
Sej
a
may or
little bit
may
of
not
time.
know. Yeah, Sej may or may not know at what level the casting is, but you understand what it is.
Would you have finished it like this morning?
Today is
Well, I just got here, so I'd have to cast it here in a little bit, but I'm going to take care of the wounded first.
It takes an hour to cast too. So.
No,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
it's a ritual. So, well, not a ritual itself, but it takes time.
Right.
Yeah.
So as Ben leads you into his temple and you see the interiors, uh, uh, you know, helping those displaced find a place to rest, um, a place to even clean up and wash up. The temple provides, right? The temple is it's a large enough complex. There's enough space where there is privacy, but there is also individuals that were not hurt. And as immediately strange as Ben is to some of you, he's not the necessarily the first Gith that you've seen. And as you are taking this walkthrough with Ben and the individuals that are capable and did come with the group to assist Ben in taking care of the injured and displaced, because they know that this relatively new structure north of West Green is a safe haven in the sense. Uh, as you enter the threshold of another chamber, there is you see the a figure in dark metals and dark clothing, um, with spiked hair of black and red. But you see, like between where you can see his flesh, the flesh is almost like greenish yellow. His ears come to points, and as they turn around to look at you, they look directly at Ben and with a smile, and then turning back into a like a stoic, very serious face. Well, seems your last day of whatever this was is really determined in making this temple not a thing. Good to see you, brother.
Yes, Mort, you as well. And this is in Celestial, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. This I forgot to say in Celestial. Uh, let's see. I think everyone here has met Mort before. Yes,
Yeah.
all of you have met Mort before. Yeah.
Although, were we like
Uh,
actually full on introduced, or did we just like see him? I don't actually remember.
you've seen him. You talked to him a
I
few
think we did
times
talk
because
to
you
him.
under. Yeah, but yes, Mort, the cleric of death, the actual domain head of the domain of death, is within the temple. And Sej, because you understand Celestial, if I remember right,
Yep.
you would hear that he says brother, and they are discussing and continuing. And as Mort sees over, recognizes the lot of you, switches to common and says, "Oh, well, fancy how fate and, well, potential has everyone running into each other at times of need. Happy Thrisson Day."
Happy Thursday Day. Um,
I wouldn't. I would have never thought that a day that I suggested to my brother to start this a year ago would actually be. Yes. It's good to see you, Menagerie.
yeah. What are you doing here? Just out of curiosity. This is no. This is a bit of a ways away from Green Hell. I mean, that's where we
Well,
saw you, right? That was. I guess that was several
yes.
months ago, but
Well, I was here because, if all things go correctly by the end of today, we were to celebrate, uh, maybe wave his hand over to Ben's accomplishments after a year.
Yeah, but this doesn't
Uh,
seem like your vibe though. Like you got a whole different vibe.
oh, vibes, vibes survive. Or vibes do not quench family ties.
Oh. And then I look at the two of them, and be like, you two related? At Ben and
Half
Mort,
brothers. Yeah, half brothers. Yes,
because he was. Gosh, now I gotta look at my notes. Mort was he wasn't to Gith, was he?
he is a gift. Yeah, he is a gift.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize that. Interesting.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Always been a gift. Always been a gift. Um, so unfortunately, it looks like fate and the shepherd knew that perhaps today's evening was going to be one of a conflict and potential tragedy. So perhaps that is the true reason I am here without realizing that.
Sure.
But um, yes, Ben, and he'll switch over to Celestial because he knows it's easier for you, Ben. You've made some very good friends. These are friends, yes?
Well, they helped us help the West Green.
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm assuming yes. And if you vouch for them, I trust your judgment.
I would say that you know the stories that I've told you down south in
Yes,
Green
of
Hill.
Green Hill
Uh,
and the hags and yes.
these are the individuals that are primarily responsible for resolving that issue.
So when he says that, Ben will kind of look at the group and kind of give like a knowing nod that they're a bunch of badasses.
Yeah.
And
It'll continue Celestial. It's okay. I know they don't look like much. It takes a while to get used to it.
and then I kind of look at Cielo and go, I understand that sometimes things appearances are deceiving, and I kind of grin at Cielo. Does Cielo speak Celestial, by the way?
No, he's staring
Okay,
at you with the fluoride stare right now.
gotcha. So, welcome, brother. If you wouldn't mind, we have many injured and need our assistance. If you would please assist.
Yes.
Oh, and since this may be more of your area of expertise, I pull the axe out and show it to him.
He's like, that is definitely a instrument that has sent many to the maze.
Is that the one he took off of the big guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Um,
I will get Lumina to look at it immediately. And then he
I'll
said
hand it to him.
he like struggles to hold it because it's so big. He's like, oh god, okay.
That's right. He is smaller than me. That's right.
Yeah, he's solid. But
Yeah, you're
he'll
How big is Ben again? He's like almost 7 feet tall or something like that, right? Isn't he pretty
Yeah,
big?
I'm like 6'5",
Okay.
like 225, but my strength is 16, not as big as you and Karos, but
Yeah,
for
yeah,
Gith I'm big.
yeah, and then for um Mort, he does kind of reflect, you know, his domain, so he is quite gaunt and thin. Though you guys know, capable. Uh, but yeah, he'll say, I will get Lumina to look over this weapon. For you, Ben, Lumina is his student.
Got it. Okay. Now he is older than me, correct?
Yes, he is your older brother.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Older
According
half
to
brother. Yep.
yes, 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 yes.
Same
So,
father, different mother.
yep. So, I will have Lumina look over this, and
Wouldn't be a James
we will
character
have.
without a brother in this in
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah,
Brother.
Although we never knew Yarsi.
Yeah. Whenever you guys find out like what the Gith do and how they
yeah.
get down, you realize we have a lot of brothers and sisters.
True.
They propagate.
Yeah.
That is their thing. If you
Pod
think
community.
Cielo is a rabbit,
Like
and
like bunnies.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Ding ding ding.
All right, let's do this now that I can actually reveal this. All right, so this can go GM layer. This can go GM layer. This can I actually grab this now?
Spoopy. Now we're in Mort's temple.
This
I'm
will
just chanting.
go.
Ooh.
Ho, ho, ho.
So that is what Ben has updated me with.
Nice.
It's a little bit shorter than that, but that's the
Yeah.
inspiration for it.
Opinion.
Yeah, I did a AI generated, and that was pretty cool. So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I like that.
Nice.
So
Nifty.
there you go. That being said, so yes, Mort, and when Mort travels, Mort does not necessarily travel alone. He has a um, contingency of lower domain members. Uh, just because I don't necessarily need to make you guys remember. Domain is another organization that represents the various domains of the deities. Mort, if you may have not remembered, but Mort is what's called the domain head, or the head of the death domain. He is the potentially the most influential mortal when it comes to interacting with the death domain. So, Lumina, his disciple or his student, and then he also has some other individuals here as they travel with him. Well, so the wounded are to be tended to. The temple is open to you as Ben sees fit. It is dawn, so if people have recharges that need to be done at dawn
Yes.
for magic items, feel free. Uh, CLO, the
Yeah.
horn that is on your side as the light of dawn cracks through and there's the light
Don't tell me it
reflecting.
disappeared because I literally just added it to my inventory.
No, as you're like holding it, you look at it. There are runic carvings that as it recharges in dawn, they glow, and you see that okay, this thing is magical, and then it fades away. So your horn recharges,
Huh.
even though you don't know what it does. But you look at that and you're like, oh,
I'm gonna
magic.
take it out and just kind of like I'm like sitting on like a marble or whatever thing, just
Yeah.
kind of chilling in the lobby and just like looking at it.
Yeah,
The trinket doesn't actually say if it recharges at dawn, but I assume it does.
it resets at dawn. Yeah. It transitions at dawn.
Yeah.
If
I kind of
I
imagine that Cielo has his own little corner somewhere that he's kind of claimed for his in this area.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Let me look over at what Rock, because Rock sent me a bunch of rolls like I always do,
Oh yeah.
so I can
He's got
see
the
what
engine.
his.
He's got.
Well, actually, I didn't do a D10 with him. I forgot, so we'll wait for that. Hello, me a D10. All right. Someone say 1, 2, 3, 1 through 5. Just give me a number so I know what row I'm starting at.
4.
Was that 4?
4.
4. Okay. His 19 and 12 are his. And then he could technically re-roll one. He will have a 19 and an 18 for his
Portents. Nice.
importance. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, let me write that. So 19 and 18 important.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't
If
mean Marb to say that.
it's all good.
Mark
Um,
knowing.
if someone wants to roll a d10, we can set his engine. If it is a d10, that I will allow him to roll that later when he returns.
Ooh,
Nice.
I'm never rolling
It's
again.
further broken. No, I'm just kidding. I don't actually know.
No, I actually didn't see the die roll. What did it roll?
Please roll the one.
It's
So
a roll.
careful spell.
Okay, now it showed up. Okay, so
Cracks and
yeah,
hisses.
careful spell. Okay, careful spell. Okay, cool. So that should
Which
be
is hilarious because he doesn't really have a lot of damaging spells.
no.
Yeah, but it goes with his character because he's so delicate.
True.
Careful
It's true,
spell,
yeah.
just in
Thematic,
case.
yet also but thematic but useless. Just like Rock. Just kidding. We love you, CJ.
That's fucked up.
That is fucked up. Okay. So yeah, if anyone else needs to recharge, reset weapons, recharge what item, um, s- let me see. I need to look at Cielo actually. Character
Seeing it,
Cielo. Are
so
you?
while that's going on, seeing as how I rolled wisdom again, I might offer to try and help tend to the wounded some
Perfect.
before,
Yeah.
because
By all
I
means.
need a rest too. But I'm as good at medicine now as I'm gonna be, so I'm gonna fucking help.
Yeah. So you essentially, it's interesting, right? Because Mort's domain does tend to bring a dour and a gloom to them. However, you've seen them back in Green Hill, and you know what they are. They're not just here to kill you off.
Right.
They're here to give you that ease of passing, and they are capable as any other cleric and various skills when it comes to mending. So you do actually, being someone that does value people, and you do recognize a couple of these individuals from Green Hill, or Green Post technically now,
Right.
and they see you, and as you are willing to help, oh, for sure, yes, certainly, Davis. It's good to see. We nice hair.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
a new
that's
look I'm trying. What do you think? It's pretty bold, but
it definitely. You used to stand out. Now you
I swear it's not
definitely
a
stand
midlife
out.
crisis.
I, I,
I swear.
that's great. That's wonderful. I'm impressed that you're able to pull off such a color. What berries or what are you using to dye
You would
it?
think that. A longer story. Let's maybe. Well,
Tend to the injured. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
but we'll kind of talk and mend, but long story. But you know me, I love a
Okay,
good story, and I'll tell you. So if we just give me the time.
I'm sure. Uh, well, this is totally. But myself and Bronson didn't think we would be running into the menagerie or Crass Menagerie, excuse me,
No, it's all
anytime
right.
soon.
We could menagerie, crass menagerie. It's all good.
Yes. So yeah, you join Alpha and Bronson uh as they tend and you assist. So go ahead and give me 3 medicine checks in total.
Okay, they're all at advantage because of my
Hmm.
totem.
Yep, yep, yep. I
First
just want to write them.
one is 12.
Okay,
Second one is 19.
okay,
Third one is a natural 20 for 21.
okay. Nice. So making sure I'm not moving things I'm not supposed to move. Okay, cool. Yeah, you most certainly the first hour or so, it takes you a little bit. But then you start to get in the rhythm. You know, some of there's a difference when you see a either a adventurer or a someone that is of conflict, right? They choose a profession that makes them experience conflict. When they are injured or hurt, you're they they appear different. That you used to that. But when you see a child or you see a farmer or someone that chose a more a life that is the opposite of conflict, it hurts when you see someone like that injured because it's not what the life that they want.
They didn't
They
bargain
just
for
want to live in
this.
peace. Exactly. When you get beat up, you're like, I'm already, this is
Yeah,
what I signed up for.
I love this shit.
So yeah, so for the first hour, it takes a while, but then listening to Bronzen and Alpha, listening to the other individuals as they comfort those, and even at times help someone pass onto the maze, it kind of clicks in. You set in, you find your groove, and then for the next couple of hours, you are as capable of a set of hands as anyone. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely Davis lends a good aid. I just wanted to write their names just so I don't.
Yeah, Alpha and Bronzen. Is that what
Yeah.
I got? Uses the souls of defeated enemies. Yeah.
Yeah. Alpha, Bronze.
See how close I got.
Should be written in the black. Oh, it's on the wrong layer. That's why you don't see it.
Oh, I was looking for it in the chat.
Yeah, I just wanted to put them on the map. Should I have to like, how do I want to say it? If I need to
Right, right.
think of who's on there. Token layer? There you go. Alpha.
I had it right. Yay!
Yeah. Um, uh, and then technically there's another one, Movement of Crash. So, Alpha, of Elven descent, Bronzen, it looks to be of, Fey descent? Not sure. There's Fey qualities to them. Not Elf, but interesting. Again, covered up with the robes and everything. So, anyone else doing anything? Before I swing over to Cielo and his fancy smancy horn.
Sej would probably pull Bran aside if he's got time.
Bran.
Ben?
I
Ben.
mean, Ben.
Ben.
Ben,
Yeah.
Bran,
Ben.
Edrin.
Ben. Yeah.
Go for it.
Adam. Before that, just read what I threw up in roll 20 chat.
Roll 20. Uses the souls of defeated. Okay, yeah. Adam.
Not that one. The next one.
Got it. We yeah. You know, it's still gonna be a few hours before you start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I'll notice Sej kind of looking at me, and I'll walk over and go, in Celestial, I'll be well met, brother. May her light always illuminate your path.
We walk the light, always. Do you meditate?
Sometimes, not as much as I like. Quite busy this last year. Takes a
Well,
lot
we
of
have
takes a lot out of me to help those here and construct this place of peace and light.
when we have a chance, when we have no more wounded to take care of. Mind we take a little bit of time and sit in a room?
Yes. I also have a favor to ask of you, since it
Mhm.
is so refreshing to see someone else who follows, well, what we follow. I will be casting the final spell to complete this temple today. I would like for you to be at my side.
That'd be the perfect time. It's a beautiful place. It must have taken you a long time.
Yes, almost a year. Will be a year here shortly.
Wonderful.
My
Well,
brother,
do you have
more,
like a sanctum or something? Because I can meet you there.
yes. I'll point to one of the double doors in the back. Like, that is where prayers are held and stuff like that. I don't really have a personal space here. It's not how I was brought up. We were brought, my people are always wanting to be around others who they consider family. So I don't have a personal space per se, but over there is where prayer occurs.
That's something I wish to talk about to the son, his family. So I think
Yes.
that would be a perfect time.
Yes. Well, let me get back to it. There's many things that need to be done today.
Oh, yes.
And I'll give
That's
you
pretty much it.
a gracious nod, and I'll walk off and start tending to the wounded and making sure people get food and water. If I have to create food and water, I will. So
Yeah. Ben will also be in the process creating food and water as they're aiding. So there is a definite abundance of, well, whatever the manifestation. Lawbearer crackers, not so much, but uh, definitely food. I'm trying to see something. That's my notes. Okay, cool. All right. I just keep hearing people typing. Okay, cool. So now that we are, you guys have settled down, seen what is happening here in this temple where the light seems to always shine. Says there's definitely, I think it would be fair to say that this is as close to home that you felt before, in your journey. There has been many great feelings and senses of emotions spending time with your colleagues and your friends, the menagerie. And you've lived with them and established your various air quote homes, such as in Carver when Rock was recovering in a coma, and you were painting your murals, assisting those with this. If you close your eyes, you swear you hear the winds blow and picking up the vast sands of Ushapti. And there's that clean, warm feeling and smell to the air here. You didn't realize, maybe until now, that that was what you've been chasing. West was always a destination.
Yeah,
You're west.
must go west. Wait, we are west.
You
This is
don't.
west.
Yeah. That pool, especially over the last 10 days, right? It's it's fizzled. It's peaceful. Your shoulders are no longer tense. You're able to kind of relax. You're looking around, and while the hallways and the architecture is not familiar, it's welcoming. It's peaceful. Even after this evening, it's or morning, it's peaceful here. Huh. Strange. Um, you find yourself wondering at one point, Serge, um, and you get to the front where the two stairs wrap up, and there is that um, sculpture of the an interpretation of Surya, an interpretation of the beacon, an interpretation of the Everlight, which is beautiful. There's so delicate are the features and almost missing, but what you see is someone beautiful and warm and welcoming. And you see that her hands are open and welcoming people to the temple. And you see as the sunlight from the morning passes upon her, there's this like almost glow. And your eyes kind of look beyond it, and then you do see that the temple is not permanent, right? You're able to see where it almost like, we'll call it like, for a glitch in the matrix, right? Like you're almost able to see through the temple and then it snaps back. You can see that it still needs to be tethered here, something permanent. And as you look at her face on the statue, and I don't know, if you wish, the emotions swell within you, and your eyes are drawn down to around her waist because some of the tenets of Surya is to be kind and warm and caring, but also be prepared to fight, be prepared to seek retribution. Um, there is a scabbard, a hilt, something there around her waist, and there's a piece missing.
Where could the piece be?
A piece.
Don't you have a piece?
I think I do.
So, something to consider for the ritual. So, but right, what's everyone else doing? All right. With the silence, I take it not too much. No. So aid has been led. You are at the temple. Uh, there's enough space for y'all. As some time progresses, and you know those that needed to be tended to are tended to. Food is distributed. You are given some semblance of privacy and able to rest. Take, if you wish to take off your armors and be in a temple of the gods for now.
Adam, is one casting of create food and water enough, or do I need to do 2 castings?
With Mort and some of his, you can do another one if you want to, just to make
Guys,
sure there's ample enough.
just make sure.
But
That'd be 90 pounds of food, so it should be enough.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
they're tower cookies, by the way. They're not
tower
crackers.
cookies. I like.
They're tower cookies.
I like it.
Nice.
The when Davis came into the tower initially, he turned a little dial in his little decoder ring, and his armor just goes.
Oh, yep, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, being able to find some semblance of rest. What are you? If anyone has anything, let me know.
I mean, that's. Are we getting a full on long rest? Because I could use a long rest, but if it's just a brief rest, short rest works too. Ah, man.
Well, Ben hasn't necessarily shared with y'all his plans, but
Surprisingly, actually, a little hoarse.
Well, Sedge knows.
Serge knows. Yep.
I know.
And Ben doesn't like talking in common, and no one else speaks Celestial.
I'm surprised
You know
Rocky
shit.
doesn't.
Well, he might. Let me check. I don't.
He
think
does. Not on a sheet, at least.
Yeah.
Sylvan. He speaks Sylvan, not Celestial.
That's what it was.
Sylvan, Primordial. He gets
Yeah.
all those other. So, then we'll jump to Cielo in his little the one place where you might say there's a little bit of shade and shadow. No. So in his little
Put me under the stairs.
yeah.
No, I imagine he's kind of like made like a little makeshift light blocking thing, so that he has like a little corner where it's a little dark, so he can actually go to sleep and shit like that.
Yeah. So
Too
under
bright. Turn it off.
where's the light switch in here? Where's the candle snuffer? All right. So did I send it to you?
Yeah, you did.
I thought I did. Okay. Yes.
I did look
So yeah. So do you when you're looking over it this morning? There is a draw to the item. Do you wish to attune to it?
Yes.
You're
All
cursed.
right. So you may add that item to your character sheet, and you know what the horn does. It's a spiraled horn with magical runes pressed into it and has up to 4 charges. You saw that as the 4 different runes glowed up this morning. You know because you've seen it in use that you can blow the horn and something happens. Yeah, and then I will leave it to you to either share with what that something to happens or let it happen in roleplay or whatever. But you do have the Shafor of
funny secret until next combat.
yeah. You have the item and you are attuned to it. So enjoy. Okay. So as time kind of progresses and y'all are able to rest, there'll be some calm within the Temple of Light, and then you'll hear this sound of like heavy metal dragging on marble floors, and it's just screeching through the entirety of the temple. And as it gets y'all's attention, you go look to who it is. You see this live, dressed in again dark clothing, more along the kin of a dress. However, you do see, based on all the light that is in here, polished silver chain and rings and bands kind of adorning this individual as she is dragging this oversized axe through Ben's temple. And as she gets to you, Ben, This in Celestial, because she knows you speak Celestial, this thing is fucking heavy. And all of you that are around that are with Ben, you just hear this, you da da da, and you hear the word fucking, and then back to Celestial.
Doesn't translate.
Because Celestial doesn't have curse words.
Heckin'.
So,
This is heckin' heavy.
yeah, it's like, fucking, kind of.
I'm gonna kind of grin at her because I'm assuming I know her. I've been
Yeah,
around
yeah.
her a few times, so
Oh, yeah, you know Lumina.
yeah.
Lumina's a character.
So I'll hold my hand out and see if she wants to give it back to me.
Yeah, no, she doesn't, like, the head of the axe has, like, been dragging on the ground, and she just tips it so that the handle falls into your hand.
And I'm like, well, thank you. Did you learn anything?
Yeah, that thing has death written all over it. Not the good type. Um, that
So
thing's a
should be
little
disposed of?
should be disposed of. Though I have a feeling if my intuition is right, not going to be easy to be disposed of.
Well, I have an idea how I may start.
I am very curious to see what you come up with, because if you're half as creative as Mort is, this is going to be
Well,
a show.
those were big shoes to fill. My brother is quite the character.
Yeah, and quite the strict disciplinarian. I'm sure he's going to yell at me for scraping up your. Oh wait, it's fixing itself.
Yes, yes.
This thing
Don't worry about this. I'm more worried about taking care of the people and taking care of the things that are evil. Everything else will work itself out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if an axe itself is evil, but it's done a lot of evil deeds. Or the individual or individuals that have wielded this thing have definitely um, cut many lives short.
I say, well, thank you for your assistance, and may the shepherd be with you.
Yeah, may the beacon shine on you as well. But no, seriously, okay, before we get to me taking a break because this thing is heavy, that thing steals people's fates. It's kind of like the antithesis of what, Shepherd of Fate. That thing messes with people's fates.
She'll see
And
that I have real concern on my face because from what Mort has told me about fates, I kind of understand how
yeah,
bad that is.
yeah. Um, where did you get it? Or who did you get it off of? Or should
Um,
I say, what did you get it off of?
did Mort tell you about the raiding parties that have been happening in the area?
Yeah, you said that
There
that's the
was
main reason you were here for the last year, right?
Yes, yes. Well, we ran across one of their champions yesterday, and I'll describe what we saw in the wolf, all that. And uh, we almost had him. I was able to get this weapon off of him, but then he was able to get away. We got this weapon, and then I look around. I look and see Cielo's little dark corner, and I kind of shake my head amusingly. And my friend Cielo also got an item off of him as well. Looked like a twisted horn. Maybe you want to go look at it, and maybe you can give him some insight on it as well.
Certainly. Just let me, because she's been here for a little bit, so she just makes sure she's got nothing loose, and then she kind of holds on to make sure her rings are on nice and tight. All right. I'll go talk to your fuzzy little friend.
Thank
You need
you.
to
Thank
figure out how to get rid of that.
Yes.
You said it was a man, a person, right?
For what we could tell, yes, but he had extraordinary abilities. Very, very large. And like I'll look at Davis and Karos and like that type of large as I point those two monstrosities out.
Mm, I just wouldn't have thought that a normal person could swing such a thing.
Well,
I, Ben, I think it's meant for something. or not a person?
Hmm.
It's concerning.
Well, he was one of the champions of what's her name, the Queen or something.
That,
I can't remember.
yes, sorry, not versed in the history of these lands, but yeah, the
I'm
queen that
I'm
was killed a
yeah,
while ago.
I'm still learning it myself, and these are like remnants of her faction or whatever. But let's tend to the people, get them where they need to be, and I'll ask Mort what his
Yeah.
advice would be,
Okay.
and then with that, I'll thank her again, and then I'll grab the axe and start go look for Mort.
Yeah. Uh, so as you do, the most the other striking visual feature of Lumina is um of whatever elven descent that she is. There is no whites of her eyes. Her eyes are blacked out, and then the irises. Sorry, yeah, the irises almost glow of like silver and pale blue, and then there's a deep black pupil in the middle. Otherwise, just looks like a gaunt, kind of more lively, less gaunt than Mort, kind of elven individual. She walks over, checking her jewelry and her chains and her holy symbol, and kneels down by the stairs where there's the little makeshift shade and shadow set up. Say hello. It's me. Say
Huh?
hello.
What?
Hey,
Huh?
say hello. Hey, hey. You're Ben tells me you stole something from a big guy.
No.
Right. All right. Well, whenever you want me to figure out what it is that you got, you'll know where to find me.
I just hand over I hand over the horn very slowly, but if she goes to pull it, he'll like tug once.
Yeah. She was like, she.
Oh
Oh, let me
damn
see if
it!
she's.
Isn't it
Let me.
deception?
Let me. Yeah. Let me insight it. Let me see this. Right. Roll.
I don't
Wait.
like how she lied on me. I didn't say he stole it. She assumed that shit.
What's her
She's no dummy.
bonuses? +7. Okay. No. Yeah. She would like knowing you. She expects you to pull on it, so she like goes to reach, and you pull. She grabs it. You pull on it. She looks at you. Do you want me
Just
to
let it
tell
go.
you? All right. Thank you. And you see like her eyes begin to focus and look on it at it, and then she kind of spins it around in her hands, spins it around in her hands, hands it back to you, and then I'll say that she whispers to you the exact mechanic. So now you know mechanically what the horn does. I'm not gonna spoil it
Sweet.
because you get to introduce it to him. All right. Yeah. Cool.
Hey, thanks. What was your name?
It's Lumina. Lumina
Oh,
Crash.
right. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll remember it this time, I promise.
Uh, I doubt it. But
Yeah,
hey,
I do too.
as far as I can tell, I have all 6 rings on my fingers, so you didn't steal anything.
Not this time, but you
Stay
better be
around.
careful.
Now I get why she tightened up the rings on her fingers.
Stay around, short stuff. And she walks off. Is there anything that you want to
Make
try to pickpocket off of her? You can let her walk
Nope.
away.
While she walks away, I'll say, make sure you lock your windows at night.
God.
I don't
Am
think
I gonna
that'll
have to
stop
constantly check
you.
my own inventory?
No.
Can't steal my armor. It goes into this ring. Oh fuck! You can steal the ring. God damn it!
I think the only thing he can't steal from you is the glaive,
Yeah,
right?
pretty
Yep.
much.
No, he
What's good
could, and then
about
it'll
that?
just melt in
Well,
his
yeah,
hand.
exactly. Just actually, shenanigans.
All right, cool. Okay, so with that, a few hours will pass. This will be the chance for you guys to officially ding over to 15. You kind of become more familiar. Rock is reflecting on things that he discussed with Opal on the ride, but since CJ is not here, we will not go over that. and he is looking through his book. And at one point, when he's looking through his book, he'll, because he's in a similar space with you guys, he's like, guys, I can read a couple more pages of my book.
Great.
I can do it.
That's how we do it.
No, you don't get it. And he
No.
kind of flips through one, flips to the other, flips to the one, flips to the other.
I can't
And he
read,
starts
so.
like giggling. Yeah, and he starts giggling. He's like, this is going to be a lot of fun. Closes his book, straps it on. He's excited.
Good.
Yeah, mechanically, he gets 2 new spells when he levels up, and he picked 2 7th level spells.
Wow.
Okay.
He can't even cast them both. What the fuck?
No, but he still wanted to have 2 7th level spells.
The choice is there.
The choice is there. Why not take it, right?
It's a good
So,
Yeah, he gets.
yeah,
Oh no, he's not full intelligence, so he doesn't get quite as many prepared spells, but he still gets a good amount.
yeah. And um, it is something that he wants to do is start translating some more of his spells in, but mechanically he gets like the way that it works with Rock because he doesn't understand the origin of his book. When he levels and gets that, the pages become readable to him.
Interesting.
So yeah, so he's got 2 new spells. All right. Well, with that,
Yeah, I would want to find where our like Pew and 14 and whoever the hell else we came with. Let me look. Opal.
oh yeah, Opal. No. So well, that will be a bit of a tyke. That's fine. So when you're asking around
Yeah, that's what I would
with
be.
some
Just
of
like
the
saying, hey, does anybody know where XXX? Yeah, these guys are.
yeah, um, go ahead and give me a. I guess it'd be a persuasion check.
Okay.
As you're discussing with people in the temple.
27.
So, all right, it doesn't take
Wow.
you too long. So
I'm
as
a
you're
charisma
like
character.
so as you're kind of going through and talking with individuals, armor put in the ring, glaive bamfed into the other dimension,
Yep.
looking more commoner than anything in a nicest way,
Pretty
right?
much just a big guy.
Yeah, big guy. Um, on top of that, of assisting people for the last 3 hours,
Although I do have a
they're
funny mechanical question. Would
uh,
you allow the mantle to also go into the ring, or am I just fucking rocking the wolf pelts on top of my
no,
commoner
Do
clothes?
it. Do it.
it's up to you.
Nah,
I would
it makes more
allow.
sense that it goes in.
Yeah, that's fine. I can allow that.
Okay.
It goes in there with it.
Like, here's just like a tunic and some just like sackcloth stuff, and then fucking wolf pelt. Let's go. Nah.
Wrong time to take a sip of my teeth. That was dangerous. Um, okay, so it'll go in. So as you're discussing with some individuals, there is actually a um, a stout dwarven male. Um, you see his hands are worn and thick and calloused and everything. Uh, he's he wears an emblem on underneath what would have been his jacket, and it's you've seen it before because you've been traveling with these individuals. It's the Heralds of Exploration,
Oh, okay.
and he's like, uh,
Yeah, Pulam. I mean, he's one of you guys, right? So, do you know where he was?
he,
Like, we had to run
so
off.
shit. As far as I got, we were meant to meet with Pulam to leave. I think part of our group stayed in town while Pulam, and then us, the more injured, were brought here to recover. Um, I, I you know, you, Al, you said you were with us.
Yeah.
He's not one that you traveled with. That's the thing.
Oh,
He's
okay.
someone that you were gonna come pick up. So, are you with the college then?
No, I worked. We were hired by. So yeah, we are working with them. We were hired to essentially like help secure passage over here, and then to I'm not sure how much we're supposed to share, so I'm just gonna say we were hired.
You were hired. Understood. So you're part of the contingency that's supposed to help us bring some of the relics and artifacts safely back to.
Your words, not mine, but sure.
Perfect. Um, I imagine that the rest of your contingency are likely still in Green. Wow, I was in Green Hill.
That's a long trip.
Yeah, West Green. Um,
Yeah, I don't know this place very well at all. Like, I know where
did
the
you just
fires were.
arrive?
We arrived this morning
Okay,
and we were helping drive those raiders out. So,
that is some timing then.
yeah,
Um, well,
yeah, it's like I don't know. Mort seemed to think it was, I don't know, not a coincidence, but I think that's like kind of his deal.
he is he does follow the Shepherd of Fate,
Yeah.
so I'm sure he sees
Oh,
the
it means something, right? Sure. Okay.
exactly. He reads the tea leaves. He rolls the bones.
I think he does more
He
than the tea leaves and just reads them.
yeah, gotcha. Well, name's Rafa.
Oh,
Thank
nice to
you
meet you, Davis.
for pleasure to meet you, Davis. If you are going to head back to Green Hill, uh,
West Green.
God, I say grass green. This is gonna be my tongue slip for
You
the
should never name
entire
two
session.
places with the same based word.
Yeah, I know. And there's actually four. There's North Green, West Green, East Green, South Green. All right. Anyways, the greens. Um, then if you could let them know that the Raiders did take quite a number of
The good stuff.
things that we were hoping to understand. Yes.
Do you know like where they make camp or where they would be taking these kinds of things?
Oh,
Like, do they work for somebody? I don't know the like factions and stuff out here. It's these guys just seem like opportunistic
it's
weirdos, but like
uh,
prepared. Like they were no joke.
they're organized, opportunistic weirdos. If that was what you were
Yeah,
going
yeah,
for.
yeah.
Um, the open plains have been under strife for the last year and maybe a little bit longer now. Family disputes. Uh, there was a matron that ruled and banned many clans, tribes together that created a well, her family. This is even before her, but her family basically created a coalition, a commonwealth or so. Um, things began to go bad more than a few years back, perhaps 2 or 3 years back now. When we used to come here and excavate and dig and research the past, we did not have to worry. And there was one such evening where there was a rumor that someone was dragged off and killed. As the years had progressed forward, this became more and more frequent, uh, to the point where now they are just known as the Red Raids. Um, it something changed within that commonwealth to make them well
Violent.
violent. This being said, there has been uprisings and there has been conflict against these. This well, they are known as the Pack. Honestly, they do hold a seat somewhere in one of the old ruined temples. Uh, but
Or is
the
it the
pack,
pack?
pack,
Not
pack,
pack.
like
Not.
a pack of animals,
Okay,
pack of
gotcha.
animals, the pack, the pack. Their queen, their matron, she was dispatched of let's say a while, some 6 or so months ago. Uh, her eldest.
while he's speaking, I'm gonna be kind of scanning the room looking for Karos because I want to call him over to hear all this stuff because like this is kind of your section of the world, somewhat, right? Like you're at least somewhat from the west, but I know you're further north.
Yep. Up to you, Carlos. If you're available,
At
you can be
21
walking
passive
by.
perception.
Yeah.
I haven't heard.
Suki, if you want to
Yes, I haven't
be
heard from
part of
Val in a
this,
while.
yeah. Cow?
Kyle? God damn it, Kyle.
Cow? Damn it, cow. You might be muted. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
might be.
there you are.
There we go.
Yeah, I give you the
Sick.
the guy head nod and like wave you over.
I walk away silently.
Back on mute.
That's why there's nothing for you to hear from me.
Yeah.
Yes, Carlos will come over.
Plus, like you're like unveiler adjacent and stuff like that, and I'm like, this has like this is something you need to hear.
Okay.
So I would just have him
We'll
like,
just-
hey, re-explain it.
That's fine. Carlos, give me a
That's a lot of A's.
give me a yeah. So go ahead and give me a history check.
Historical.
Yeah, and I think you have tactical wit still, so I think it applies to this. I don't remember.
Yeah, I still have the tactic. Let's roll 1d20 plus 10. Oh, 1d10 now.
Yeah.
That line up.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So Carlos, you are not from the open plains. You are from the Pride Lands, but your travels, your profession, your
Associations.
yeah, your associations and your ability to absorb information and knowledge and connect the dots has always had you've always had this like concern about the West. And it was more of like you were worried about the West spilling over into the North. You were worried about the open plains crossing the waters and potentially affecting your home. So while you have not been actively engaging with this region, you have traveled through here a few times. You have interacted with the locals a few times. Um, and you've kept your eye on this area. So there are pieces of history that you are keenly aware of. As you're listening to Rafa discuss what's been going on. So to clarify the dates, now that you're here with the 30, it's not exactly sure when, but it's about 5 to 6 years ago. The then queen. Where did I put her name? I literally was just looking at it. Did I put it under? It's probably under the stories tab, not the city tab.
Something
Maybe
green.
that's what I did. Yeah, no, not green. So the then Queen Xerxia. 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 Xerxia ruled the open plains. And the open plains is a huge area, so she didn't rule all of it, but she came to be the ruler after her father passed away, and she was the eldest heir, and she took on essentially this commonwealth. And the commonwealth was individuals and tribes and groups that lived a combination of nomadic and settled lands that saw the open plains as free game for everyone, and they didn't necessarily want it to be tied down to a nation such as like Kled. They had a degree of autonomy. They have their own culture, their own practices, their own religions, their own things like such. But about 5 to 6 years ago, Xerxia came to prominence. A few years after that, maybe, it's kind of hard with the timeline, but maybe even a year after that, there was some rumors of conflict, and then it started to become an issue for individuals that came to the open plains to, there's a lot of resources out here. And it became an issue because it became more and more dangerous. There was never, for a few years, there was never this association that the danger was coming from the Commonwealth. It was thought as more like small independent groups, maybe bandits, maybe this, but then more and more of these attacks, more and more of these raids, more and more of this evilness was going on. So as Rafa and you and Davis is more listening or talking, um, you learn that yes, she was dispatched of. Zersha was killed by a group uh, of joint individuals from the open plains and from West Green and the localized cities. They rallied behind um, her eldest daughter. Um, the eldest daughter her name is Gosha. Oops, I spelled wrong. Gosha. Um, and uh, she is, she represents all that, um, how do I want to put it? She represents all that was good in the original Commonwealth. And she does have a following. It's probably not as large as whatever the remaining Commonwealth is, and she lives essentially in exile and in protection somewhere around here. Her location is not always known because they want to make sure that she is safe. Um, and then there is another daughter that is loyal to the dead queen, and her name is Orbenta, and she has dubbed the Commonwealth now the Pack of the Sacrament. So Commonwealth equals Pack of the. There you go. And um, there is no. They're not hiding where they are. They're located in a city on the plains that was long ago built upon some ruins here, which is one of the main reason you get the Heralds of Exploration coming through here. You get other groups that come through here that try to delve these ruins for personal gain, personal wealth, for the betterment of society, whatever. They try to reveal the secrets. And um, yeah, some real Lara Croft types, exactly. Um, and the city upon the plains that the pack calls home is called Sunrule. And that is the seat of Zersha's legacy, her lineage. Um, yeah, and with a 30 total, something you guys were going to figure out later, but you've heard rumors, and Rafa, and at this point, Rafa has also gotten a couple more individuals that he was, doing some of these digs with. Um, you meet two others, another dwarven individual. However, they seem to be more of like ashy gray skin with like white beard. Their eyes are almost like they almost like are glossed over. Just another derivative of a dwarf, a Duragar. Um, and then uh, there is a a kobold with them, and the kobold, as you guys are talking and introducing, he's like, "Oh no, I'm not with them. That's just another one of those freelancers that comes through here. I actually get my work through the Cryptid Collections. Nice to meet you, but these guys are good, and well, they needed an extra set of hands, so I'm here to help." So, with the discussions on that, you get a little bit more insight that the the Zersha's husband and youngest child are held captive with in Sunrule, and they are seen essentially as deity-like individuals because they were part of Zersha's family, if that makes sense. So the husband and their youngest daughter, their youngest daughter, are captives to the middle daughter that is acting in place of her fallen mother. The eldest daughter is the one that is in there's like a refugee and like an isolation and exile essentially over here, and she is trying to help the people that broke away from the pack and trying to, well, figure out a way to restore the original Commonwealth. So that's what a 30 gets you.
Did you catch all that?
Oh, what?
I stepped away for a second. Can you repeat that?
Sure. All right. So bad Queen Zersha, good daughter Gosha, bad daughter Orbenta.
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 Listen,
There's
I asked you
is
where
the
Pulam
husband
is. I didn't ask for a fucking history lesson. I'm just kidding.
is
Like,
is the husband her father as well, or was this like a multiple husbands type thing?
A polycule.
a polycule. Um.
Of Orbenta.
Okay, gotcha. Of Orbenta. Yes. The. So yes, good catch. Okay, yes. So Gosha is the half daughter, and Orbenta is full-blooded Zersha and husband. So history lesson. Zersha's original husband died. I wonder why. Yeah. So
Okay, so the eldest daughter was with
other. Yeah.
the
The rebellion.
original thing, and then
Yeah.
her king, her
Yes.
father dies. She takes power, has a second uh husband,
Mhm.
births
Yeah.
middle
All
and
right.
baby daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 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 So, the only other thing I can give you right now, so the bad is the pack of the Sacrament, which used to be the Commonwealth, and then Gosha's group is the Dwellers Embrace. So, the the only thing that you'll get from the only other thing I'll say is honestly, if you guys are as capable as you were at fighting back uh, the raid like you did, perhaps you should seek out the Dwellers Embrace. Could,
Okay.
well, I mean, I don't know how that is. I mean, I know you're helping us, and he looks at you, Davis, when you said that, but
Yeah.
I mean, helping us, you might be able to help them and help us at the same time.
Makes sense to me.
Thank you. And then yeah, And then yeah, the city, just for clarity, that they have taken over used to be the seat of power. It's called Sunrule. So
Roger Dodger.
Roger
So
Dodger.
where's Pulam again? No, I'm just kidding.
I think he's back at West Green, taking
We're
care of.
not in West Green, aren't we? In West Green?
Well, we're a little bit northwest.
Okay.
When Ben came here about a year ago, he built this place. I can't believe he built this place in just a year.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Uh, so yeah, pleasure meeting you, Davis.
Yep. Rafa? Which one was it?
Rafa, Rafa.
Got it.
Rafa.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you. Probably be dead if it wasn't for you guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think we got to save everyone, and since, I mean, I definitely, yeah, but such is the
Well,
way things go sometimes.
if as may sound grim, but I think since we don't know what they do when they take people, I think maybe it's better that you didn't save everybody and let them die before they made it back to the seat of the pack.
Fair.
It's messed up, man.
Yeah,
They
yep, seemed it. But, well, we'll just have to try and make sure that this kind of crap doesn't happen anymore. It's a part of what we're here for. So.
right. I'm sure once I'm back on my feet, I'll be working with you to go to our various dig sites, make sure the stuff that we can gets escorted out of here back to the museums.
Right. Which, hey, are there any here, or are those just all back in Whitlaw, or do you have your own little like satellite museums or branch offices, whatever you want to call them?
No, nothing like that here.
Too dangerous, I guess. From the what'd you call them? The pack of the sacrament.
Pack of the Sacrament. Yeah. I mean, when we're feeling bold and drunk, we call them potheads. But pots. Pack of the Sacrament. Pots.
Got it.
Potheads. But yeah, no, no type of branch or anything out here. We have various camps strewn about. We have different people with different expertise. From our collection from the heralds to the college to the museums. Heck, we even have contract work with the cryptid collectors. Various, but it's just, I tell you, my friend, because you are part of this now, there are so many secrets out there. It's amazing.
I believe it.
Just how much has been lost in just that openness.
Understood.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yep. I'm gonna go reconvene with the rest of our buds. See what we're gonna do. We've had a bit of a day. But thanks for all your information. Hope you feel better. And then, yeah, maybe we'll see you on the job.
I look forward to it. It's my knee feels better.
Oh,
Thank you.
While like for the rest of the day,
Sure.
so he's wearing, I assume like the heralds tend to kind of have like a look, like not necessarily like a uniform, but like
They do.
somewhat identifying.
Think of like what you would imagine, just stereotypical like Indiana Jones, that type of era of.
I'm curious to see, because like Davis gets the vibe that like I don't know that these guys are super welcome by the actual locals, because it seems like they just kind of like come in here, take stuff, and then ship it out, and it's like I just want to get the vibe. Like, does it feel like they're talking to the
Very.
locals and like actually being friendly with them, or are they kind of just
Sure.
like I don't know, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, if you want to give me it's going to be a limited exposure here,
Sure.
but insight check, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, just kind of like if I look around, is it like 3 Indiana Jones costumes and then 3 like like basically they're completely separated, or is there
Yeah,
like
I got you.
some commingling? Okay, yeah, insight you said.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Ooh, even without the totem, it still would have been pretty good, but 24.
um, no, they're not just the three of them are not just gathered up.
Okay, so they do seem to
They
kind
seem
of
to
have
they
a
commingle.
rapport with like the locals.
Yeah. Based on what he said with a 24, based on what he said, people don't realize what's
Ah,
out there.
okay.
Like they don't know that they know that they're going out there to look at history and
Right.
ruins,
But they
but
like
they don't.
participate in the community and stuff. Like they're not
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
like, hey, yeah, we were
They're not
taking your
just
shit, bye.
yeah,
They're like, what shit?
and it's yeah. In a way, it's they don't know that shit is being taken from them, but it's not theirs to begin with, right?
Right.
But at the same time, they're not aggressive or hostile while they're doing it. They're not jerks about it. They're just here
Okay.
doing a job from what you can do. Yeah, 24.
Cool.
Equals. Okay. All right. Well, right there, because I know a casting of Temple of the Gods is going to happen up here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and take a break so I can prepare for what needs to be prepared. Ben can find his inner inner focus, and then we'll start back up at the top of the hour at the latest.